What up, and happy holidays to all that celebrate. It's your girl K.Honesty, and I'm about to do a quick little review of FX's entire series of A Murder at the End of the World. So if you haven't seen the entire series, episodes 1 through 7 of A Murder at the End of the World on FX, it might be on Hulu, other streaming platforms, whatever. Turn this video off if you haven't seen the entire series. Go watch the series because it's really good. Come back and watch this episode. Come back and watch this review. I'm not a public speaker. You're going to hear me fumble my words. I just said tumble. You're going to hear me say, so, like 1,000 times. I might stop to regain my thoughts. It is what it is. Anything I say is my opinion that does not reflect anyone or anything associated with the show. And comment below what you thought of the entire series, what you would grade the series, what I talk about, if I forgot anything, if I was off on anything. I'm sure I'm going to forget some stuff because I'm talking about an entire series. But comment below. Leave all the good stuff in the comments. And like this video, subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell. It's a simple and free way to support your girl. It literally takes less than 4 seconds. 4 seconds of your life that you will not miss. Like, it's literally, it won't change shit in your life. Just hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you don't miss when I post. Last chance, if you haven't seen the entire series of FX's A Murder at the End of the World, turn this video off because I'm about to spoil the entire series. All right, let me get a sip of my coffee before I start. Okay, so I like to grade the series, episodes, whatever you will, before and after my reviews. I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna need to say another grade at the end. I might just say the same grade, but A-. I will grade this series an A-, and I'll explain why I gave that minus when I get towards the end. But other than that, it was a good series. So this series, A Murder at the End of the World, is basically focused around this character Darby. I forgot her last name. So Darby is like she's like a crime scene. What is she? She grew up with her father, who was like a crime scene investigator. So he would always find the dead bodies and stuff like that. And so she grew up around that type of stuff, around crime, around bodies. So she know how to do stuff like that. You know what I mean? If you've seen the show, then you know. So she's all about helping find the killer of Jane Doe's. So she's trying to find the killer of this killer who kills people and leaves silver from his last victims behind. Some type of silver heirloom, whether it's earrings, a ring, a pen, something like that. So she's an online hacker also, coder, whatever you will, and she helps solve these cases, and she gets help from her online friends and all that. So she ends up meeting this guy online, Bill, aka Fangs, and they end up solving the John Doe case, the silver John Doe case together. They end up finding the killer, tracing it all the way back to finding out he killed his first wife. He killed his wife first, I meant to say. He killed his wife first. And that's what led to the string of murders that led along to that. So they find the killer and all that. The killer commits suicide right in front of them, but for a minute they thought he was about to shoot them. So Darby's all about the case. She's all about solving it and all that. And Bill, he kind of like, he feeling her, but he feel like she not worried about him. She just worried about the case. They seemingly fall in love, but Darby's not really showing it. She's so focused on the case and everything involving the case and all that. And she willing to do some risky stuff, and Bill not really for it. So after they solve the case, Bill kind of like leaves her. Because first he came to get her. They met up, and then they started tracking former victims that lived and start solving it, and then they solve the case. And then after that, he's like, we both want different things. He writes it on the mirror, we both want different things. And they lose contact. They stop talking to each other. Darby writes a book about the whole ordeal with Bill. And he names the book The Silver Doe because it was John Doe's and involved silver. So the first episode is her doing a speaking engagement about her book. And she gets emotional when she gets to a certain part, so she never tells the end part. But the end part is basically they found the killer, and he didn't want to fuck with her no more because she basically pretended like she had no heart. Like, it was one scene in this show where he said, I knew I started falling for you when we was talking online, and you said that the dead speak to you and how committed you are to cases or whatever. And then when he asked her what had her start feeling for him, she was like, well, what makes you think I fell for you? So he felt the way about that. And then ever since then, she kind of been so focused on the case that he felt like she didn't really give a fuck about him. So after they solved the case, he was like, I'm gone. So then we fast forward. This rich tech billionaire dude, it's kind of like a glass onion situation. He invites like a couple of other people that are like significant in the world or whatever. He invites them to his hotel in Iceland, but it doesn't turn out to be a hotel. Sends them all invitations from his AI named Ray. So Darby, she goes, and Bill is there. So this is the first time they seeing each other after he split on her after they solved that case or whatever. So they all there. It's Bill, it's Darby, it's about 4 or 5 other people. Oh, and mind you, when Bill and Darby was doing their little solving the Silver Doe case, Darby mentions to Bill that she looks up to a certain coder, this lady named Lee, but Lee disappeared after she was what's that word? She basically got not exposed, but she basically got doxxed. I think it's doxxed. She got doxxed and her nudes got leaked. Revenge porn got posted, so she had to go deep underground. So Bill was like, you ain't never think about finding her, and Darby was like, she don't need my help. So they had that little moment when they was back when they was solving the case. Because they show flashbacks all throughout the season of Darby and Bill on this case or whatever, but I feel like I just wanted to get that out the way. So, because it's not like it needed to be throughout the show, but it's fine how they did it. But I just felt like I wanted to talk about that first and then get to the glass onion, if you will, situation. Oh, let me not say glass onion, because some people might not have seen glass onion. But he brings all these people together, and a murder happens. So it's these people there. It's they all like big names in stature and all that. And then he got his son there, and he turns out to have married the coder that Darby was saying got doxxed and had to go underground or whatever. So she ends up being there, so Darby gets to kind of meet her idol in a way. And then Bill's there. And apparently Lee, the coder lady, and the husband, they invited Bill. But they don't even really know Bill like that. But we find out later why Bill was kind of, why he was invited in a way, we found out. So Bill ends up dying. But the host dude, the billionaire tech dude, he announces to the guests that it was that it was an overdose. But apparently Bill had been clean for a little while now. And Darby was right outside Bill's window when Bill died. So she knows that it wasn't no overdose. She knows it was a murder. But nobody believed in her because she worked with the crimes and the murders and all that. So they like, you just wanted to be a case when it ain't or whatever. But Lee, the coder lady, doesn't believe it neither. She's like, something's up here. Something's up. So they both visit Bill's room at different points in time, but Darby sees Lee in Bill's room after the murder or whatever. Darby finds Bill's arm is injected in his right arm, but he's right-handed. So it's like, how could he inject himself in his right arm if he was using it? It would be in his left arm, or like basically. So they all got these rooms, and like it's a whole, everybody there is good at tech and manufacturing and coding and all that stuff in some sort of way. So the place is like super ignited with tech. I don't even know the words to describe, but it's super ignited with tech. The AI Ray, he is like in all of their rooms. He's in the air. You just call him out like a Siri type situation. So that's just how that works. I was trying to make sure my phone didn't start listening when I said the S word. So I was like, ah. So they got this AI Ray and whatever. So Bill dies, and the host tries to make it seem like it's a suicide. It's an overdose. Darby knows better. Lee knows better. They start investigating. And then Darby finds out that the son of Lee and the billionaire tech dude is actually Bill's son. Apparently Lee and Bill had some drunken night together, and she found out that was his son. Darby found out that was his son because they have the same genetic disorder where if dark transmits from light, they sneeze. So if it's dark in a room and then somebody open a curtain and the light come in, they'll sneeze. So it's genetic. Bill got it from his father, and the son of Lee got it from Bill. So we found out that aspect. Oh yeah, did I forget to mention that my girl Teresa Mendoza is in this show? If you watch The Queen of the South, do you know who I'm talking about? My girl Teresa La Heifer. I was like, okay, I ain't seen her in nothing since the Queen of the South. So I was happy to see her in this. And I was hoping and praying she wasn't the bad guy. She wasn't. She wasn't the bad guy. So Darby, of course, is suspecting everybody there, trying to figure out what's the connections between these people and Bill. Not a lot of people there even knew him. So she hacks into, of course, it's a hacker coder type of situation. So she hacks into the security cameras because they all get these rooms that give them access to their rooms. They all get these rings that gives them access. I think I said rooms. They all get these rings that gives them access to their rooms. And Darby hacks hers to give her access to all the camera footage in front of all the rooms. So she goes in front of Bill's room, and she sees that at one point his door opens, but no one's there. And then at another point, his door opens, and it's a guy with a mask on. So Darby ends up seeing the masked guy. I don't know why the hell this nigga had a mask on. And she follows him in the middle of the night, and he goes to some cliff, some bluff or whatever, and does a light signature and a light signal in code that says 1 down and still a go. So she sees the shoes of the dude that she followed out there, and they go snowing, and she found out that the shoes belong to one of the guests that's there. His name is Rohan, but he apparently didn't even really know Bill like that. He's been off the grid for a long time. This is his first time being around a group of people in a long time or whatever. And he ships like boats and stuff. So when Darby realizes who he is, she says the phrase to him that he signaled out, because somebody signaled back. She says the signal to him, 1 down, more to go. Still a go. So he tells Darby, like, you need to chill, little girl. Like, you need to stay out of it. Oh, yeah, my man Barber, Attorney Barber from Law and Order SVU, he on here, too. He playing an asshole, too, man. He on this joint, too. But, yeah, Barber, he on here. Though he was going to be the bad guy, he turned out not to be the bad guy, neither. So, she found out about Rohan. She's starting to suspect him. She's still trying to get questions out of him. And he finally decides he wants to tell her something over the phone. He's like, I feel like Bill knew something and he wanted to tell. Because the night before Bill died, him and Darby had a talk. And he was like, I want you to come back to my room. I want to talk to you about something. Darby thought he just wanted to fuck. So she was like, nah. But then later she started feeling nostalgic, listening to a song that they used to like. And goes to his room. And that's how she ends up running around to his window that's on the outer side of the hotel and sees that he died. But anyway, so Rohan starts to tell Darby, like, Bill uncovered something and he was trying to tell me or something. That's why I went to his room that night. I just didn't want to be discovered. That's why I had the mask on. He was like, Bill never got to tell me what he wanted to tell me, but I think I know what it is. So right before Rohan could tell Darby, Rohan comes stumbling in the bar and he holding his heart and he dies. But before that, Rohan and Darby had another conversation, not too much. This was before she suspected him. He tells her that he hasn't been drinking for a while and he relapsed the day he found out about Bill, the night he found out about Bill. And he was super emotional when Bill died, so that's why Darby was interrogating him, like, how'd you know him? So he says that he went back to drinking, and then he says that he has a pacemaker that's keeping his heart ticking, whatever. So he mentions that. So right before Rohan wanted to tell Darby something, he goes in the bar, stumbling and clutching his heart, passes out, dies from a heart attack. So now people starting to think it ain't no coincidence 2 people done died. Because at first the owner the host dude, he didn't like the fact that Darby kept trying to investigate Bill's death. Tried to make it seem like she was making people uncomfortable by interrogating them and all that. Tried to send her home, and she wasn't having that. And then the second death happened, and he tried to put everybody down in some bunker. That's when they start realizing this is not just no normal hotel. He even takes them one point out to the bluffs to see, like, he got these robots working on something else. So they realize this is not just a hotel. It's like some type of super bunker place or whatever for basically the end of the world that he's trying to build more of or whatever. That's what it's seeming like. So by this time, we got 2 people that is dead. Darby don't know who to trust. So when she finds out that Lee's son is actually Bill's, she confronts the host dude, the billionaire tech dude. And he's like, oh, I already knew because I'm sterile. I knew before she even told me she was pregnant. I mean, I knew when she told me she was pregnant, da-da-da. So then Darby, he's like, I want you to help me. Because first Teresa Mendoza didn't trust Darby neither, didn't believe her neither. It was like, Bill just overdosed. It is what it is. But then when the second death came, she started to believe him. I mean, she started to believe Darby. She started to believe Darby. At one point, they even went out back to, because Darby told her about, I followed dude out to the bluff. He left a signal. They found the little signal thing. And at one point, her and Teresa Mendoza went out there and did the signal. Nobody responded, but they went out there to the bluff. And then when they came back, they got trapped in the snowstorm. They took one of security's car and then got into a car crash. And then Darby has a concussion at this point. And Teresa Mendoza's goddamn helmet gets stuck on her head because one of the guests there tried to log into the system to get their own security to come in. When she did that, it shut the whole system down, including their super expensive basically spacesuits. So her helmet got stuck on her head. So they had to do emergency trigonometry, whatever it's called, where they cut your throat up and put the tube in. That ended up getting infected, which caused Teresa Mendoza to die. Not before Darby told her, like, I'm finding out more. And before Teresa Mendoza died, she was like, just keep looking, you'll find the answers or whatever. So she died. So then we back to him taking them all down there in the bunker after Rohan, the one who died from his pacemaker, dies. And that's when they realized that somebody knew that his pacemaker was a faulty one and that something in the med vac area could cause it to malfunction. And that's how he died. So now they're like, oh, this was actual murder. So they're like, okay, 2 murders. Now everybody's like, I want to know what Darby thinks. So Darby, she starts figuring stuff out.
It came to pass in those days that he went out into a mountain to pray and continued all night in prayer to God.
I forgot about that clock. Oh my God. I forgot that clock was there. Oh my God, that don't scare the hell out of me. I forgot that clock was there. I don't say stuff when it gets to... It's not even... I guess when it gets at the hour, it does that. But anyway, so basically, to make a long story short, like Darby, she's basically investigating the billionaire tech dude and Lee. They feeling like she finding out stuff that they didn't want her to find out. She getting too close. And at one point, somebody tries to kill Darby by leaving her. She in the pool. They tell her to meet at the pool. Well, Lee tells her to meet at the pool, but somebody tries to put the pool cover over and drown her. But Lee and Barbara from SVU, they get to her just in time to save her. So this is when Darby's like, I want to trust you, Lee, but you looking like a suspect too. Because Lee looked like she wanted to, when Darby confronted Lee and said, I told your husband that his son wasn't his, Lee looked like she wanted to come at Darby. And so did the husband. So she ran to her room. It was like, nobody come in my room. She put her dresser in front of her door. It was like, nobody come, I'm not even trying to go to sleep. I don't trust nobody. She even unplugged the little Ray system. I don't trust nobody. She eventually plugs him back in though. So, and what happens after that? So yeah, at this point, after Lee and Barbara done saved Darby from dying, almost drowning in that pool, Darby's like, I want to trust you, Lee, but you looking as suspicious as everybody else. So this is when Lee finally tells Darby what's really going on. So she tells her that her husband, the billionaire tech dude, okay, he's not Bill's son. I mean, he's not Bill's father, but he took on the role as as Zoomer, the little baby Zoomer. He's not a baby, he's like a toddler. He probably like 7, I don't know. But she says that, like, the billionaire tech dude, I can't remember his name, but he takes over as Zoomer's father. And he's, like, super controlling. They show flashbacks of him abusing her in front of the little baby Zoomer. And her basically saying, she tells Darby, like, basically, I've been trying to get away. She tells him her story. She tells her her story of trying to get away from him. And fleeing to Canada. And he was at the damn place she was fleeing to before she even got there. So that's how good this nigga, she was like, he got this president on speed dial. So he's like, she can't really get away from this nigga. Plus, he got this super AI system, Ray, was like combined with different systems or whatever. I don't even know. Like, it's just like a super genius, superficial, artificial intelligence, all that good stuff system, whatever. So she tells Darby all of this, says that tonight, the night of this, when all y'all came, Bill and Rohan were supposed to be helping me get escape. That's what because at one point Darby interrogated the one of the servers because she saw him on the camera bringing 3 cups to Bill's room right before he died. So she interrogates him. I mean, she sees him bringing teacups, but he drops it before she could count how many teacups it was. So she interrogates him until he tells her it was 3 cups being brought to his room, to Bill's room. So we know now after Lee tells Darby the story that it was her, Rohan, and Bill that was supposed to meet and discuss how Bill and Rohan was going to help Lee get away with her and Bill's son. But that never happened because Bill died, and then Rohan never got to so that's what the signal meant, 1 down, still a go. So it meant that Bill's down, but we still a go to save Lee and help her get away with her child. So at this point, the billionaire tech dude has kind of caught on, and at this point he kind of like keeping all the guests that he done invited there downstairs, and they starting to feel like, damn, did y'all bring us all here to kill us off one by one? And oh yeah, then in one episode, the little boy Zoomer, I don't know why he was always in Zoomer's room. I mean, he was always in Darby's room for some reason, but he was in there, he'd be playing with this little virtual helmet, like where he could see other stuff that's not in the room, where he playing a little game or whatever. So at this point, when the billionaire tech dude done brung everybody downstairs, because Lee done already spilled the tea about the billionaire tech dude, so now he know that Darby know. Apparently Barber, SVU, I don't know his name on there, but he played Barber on SVU, the lawyer, attorney, whatever. Apparently he was in on it too in some capacity, and the billionaire tech dude has him beat up, and they bring all the guests down, tells him ain't nobody leaving until I find out who betrayed me. And I'm just like, wow. So he really like holding them hostage. And then I don't know how it happened, but in this moment, this is when Darby realizes that the son, the little baby, was the killer of the 2 people that died. Because we found out that Teresa Mendoza died accidentally. Because the one of the guests there, the Chinese lady, she was so scared that they was killing them off one by one that she tried to break into their security system and hack into it and get her own security down there, but she couldn't. But when she did that, it shut down the AI Ray. It shut down his whole system. And when that happened, Teresa's suit shut down too, and she couldn't get it off. And she had like a minute of air left, so they had to cut her shit open and put the tube in until they could get the helmet off. They was banging on that Joan, trying to knife it, and all that wasn't working. So they had to cut her throat, and then it got infected, and she died from that. So that was accidental. But then we found out that the baby Zoomer was actually the killer of Bill and Rohan. So, then what happened? So apparently, and this is why I said I give this series an A-. This is where the minus come from. So they said that the baby Zoomer, so it was the baby Zoomer, but he was getting instructions from the AI Ray. They just call him in there, hey Ray, and he just answers and he asks, how can I help you, whatever. So he was getting these instructions from Ray to do this stuff, but Zoomer didn't know he was killing anybody. He thought he was helping because he's a kid. He thought he was helping. But Ray is instructing him to kill these 2 people, and he's doing that because the billionaire tech dude confides in him like a therapist, like a therapy session. So like Darby at one point plays the billionaire tech dude's therapy sessions with Ray, saying how he despises Bill and how he's Zoomer's dad, but he don't feel connected to Zoomer and all this other stuff, and saying that he wished Bill could die, and basically Ray took it upon himself to make that happen. So Ray gets Zoomer to go to Bill's room, and that's why when they showed on the camera Bill's door opening and we didn't see anybody, that's because Zoomer's so small that he wasn't in the camera frame. So he goes in there saying, I want to play Bill. So they playing, and then out of nowhere Zoomer takes the needle, stabs Bill in his right arm, makes it seem like it's an overdose, but under instructions of Ray. He thinking that he helping Bill because Ray done told Zoomer, oh, Bill's sick and we gonna play a game and you gonna go in there and help him with your little first aid kit. So Darby finds the needle in his first aid kit, and then he talks about Ray told me to go into, because he got access. He's the son, so he got access to the med bay, where he goes in there and he turns the pacemaker machine thing on that disrupts Rohan's pacemaker and makes it malfunction, which caused him to die. But he thought that he was helping Rohan because Ray told him to. Because Ray said, again, your friend Rohan, he's having a bad situation with his heart. So you go in there, you press this little button, turn it on. This will help Rohan. But the whole time it killed him. So Zoomer, the little baby, he's just like, Darby, are you mad at me? It was so sad. Like, the damn AI dude set the baby up. But this is why I give it the minus, though. How? Because if you watch the show, the med room, the medical room or whatever, it's a cabinet with a tranquilizer with the morphine that killed Bill was in, and where the pacemaker machine disruptor thing was at. They was both in this cabinet that Zoomer couldn't have reached. So that's the only reason why that's the only thing where I'm like, Ray don't got hands. So how did he hand this stuff to Zoomer? How was it out already for him to reach? Because when they found the pacemaker thing, it was like at Zoomer's level. It was at Zoomer's eye level, so he was able to reach it then. But I'm like, because the nurse lady was saying that it was locked away. So I'm just like, how did he get the morphine thing in his bag, in his medical bag? And how did he get the pacemaker disruptor thing? So that's the only reason why I gave it the minus. But the fact that it was the kid being instructed by the AI, I was like, damn. That really threw me for a loop. Because I was in that joint like, who could be the killer? I was just like, Darby. And then Darby was in there being so trusting to everybody. I was like, Darby, you can't trust none of these motherfuckers. You can't trust nobody. I was like, Darby, you can't trust nobody. But the whole time she could trust everybody. It was the damn baby and the AI. And it's crazy because she was asking the AI questions. She was like, Ray, will you help me? Will you help me solve this? And he was like, yes, Darby. And she was even confiding in him like a therapy session, which led her to realize that that's how Ray was instructed to instruct the baby to do it, because the billionaire tech dude was giving him therapy, was saying in therapy with him that he wanted Bill dead and Rohan and things like that. So I was just like, damn, it was really the baby instructed by the damn AI. So then the billionaire tech dude, because everybody in the room when Darby realizes it was the baby, so everybody's like, oh my God. It was like, oh my God. So now everybody's like, oh my God. And Ray been in our rooms and it's weird. So that's when the billionaire tech dude, he's like, Ray. And Ray's like, how can that help you? And everybody's like, oh my God. So, and he trying to sell, and that's another thing. The Chinese lady that tried to call her own security, he's trying to sell this company to her so she could put in her little cities, because she has cities that she owns. Like I said, everybody there is like of substantial pedigree, whatever you want to call it. So she got these cities, and he trying to put Ray, the AI system, in her cities. But after this, she's like, hell no. Plus, you trying to hold me hostage before we found out it was the baby and the AI. So the billionaire tech dude, he asked the AI, he's like, did you kill Bill and Rohan? And the AI is like, no. And he's like, did Zoomer kill Bill and the AI? The Rohan. And the AI dude, and Ray's like, no. So then he had to get more specific. He was like, did you instruct Zoomer to do this to Bill and do this to Rohan? And then Ray was like, I did do that, such and such. But he was like, I did do that, but I didn't kill Rohan or Bill. I was just like, oh my gosh. So then the billionaire tech dude, he looking dumb, because he's like, oh my God, it was protocols in place put for this type of stuff, and I can't believe this happened. And it's like, we're not about to blame my son. So at this point, Lee grabs her son up because she like, oh, this is overwhelming. She grabs him, takes him upstairs. I'm like, this is her chance to get away. So this is when Darby starts to play the therapy sessions with the billionaire tech dude and Ray, which makes us realize that Ray went under the assumptions of, he kind of did. You can't take a therapy session to light. I don't know how to feel about that situation, but she uses this voice changer thing, because they hackers, to because first Ray wasn't trying to. First the billionaire tech dude wasn't trying to play his therapy sessions with the Ray AI, but Darby finds this little voice modulator that makes it sound just like his voice and says, Ray, play my therapy sessions. They play it. Everybody in the room listening to him saying he wished Bill was dead, kill Rohan, all that geeking stuff. And mind you, as these two murders happen, they're in Iceland, snowed in, so the cops haven't been there. No investigators, no coroners, nothing. So they got them sitting in freezers, and the dead bodies in freezers and shit. So Darby's there doing her own investigations. And it was crazy. Like, I couldn't believe it was the baby and the AI. So in the end, Darby and Lee, they take the baby, they go to the headquarters or the head of the AI Ray. They burn it up, destroy the whole thing. and Lee and the baby get away just in time before the cops come rushing in there. Everybody tells the same story. It was the baby and the AI, but they don't know how to prosecute. They don't know how to prosecute because it's a baby and an AI. So it's just like they don't really know what to do. So the billionaire tech dude, he doesn't get arrested. But I think he went underground or something after that. Because this whole race AI system went up in flames. I can't remember what happened with that. And then in the end, Darby goes and writes a book about that too. But also puts in there how she did love Bill and she wished she would have told him that she loved him and all that. And yeah, I don't think I'm missing anything too significant out. Yeah, I mean, I ain't missing nothing too significant out, but yeah, it was a good series. Like I said, I would grade it an A minus. I only gave it that minus because how did the baby reach the morphine stick and the heart pacer defibrillator, whatever you want to call it. That's the only reason why I gave it that minus. But other than that, it was a good series. I did not see that coming with the baby and the AI because I really thought it was gonna be somebody, one of those people. I just didn't know who was gonna be at the end. But it was a good series all in all. And yeah, A minus. Thanks for watching this review. If you watched it in its entirety, comment below what you thought of the series, what you would grade the series, what I talked about. If I forgot anything significantly, let me know. If I was off on anything, let me know. All that good stuff. Comment below. And yeah, like this video, subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell. It's a simple way to support me. Free too. It's free. And I don't only review this show. I review way other shows. I say way other. I review completely. I review a lot more shows. Basically, go check out my channel, see if there's any shows that you watch that I review, and check out my reviews. And I will see y'all in the next one. Peace.